Greetings, citizens of Earth. My people have developed technologies which allow us to throw off our physical forms and travel great distances in the blink of an eye. We are in dialogue with your leaders to help the human race survive its infancy, for we believe in you. We are helping your scientists find cures for diseases which afflict your bodies, and helping you to preserve your planet's most precious resources. Many among us wage peace, and one day, with our help, war may be a thing of the past. Our army is 1 billion strong and growing. We are the people of the internet, and together, we are shaping the future of humankind.
Superpower, the BBC's internet season, this March.
Question, do you believe in UFOs? Well, so tonight, guess what? You're in some pretty impressive company. British astrophysicist Stephen Hawking, one of the smartest people on the planet, arguably, think there's a good chance that alien life exists. Not exactly the friendly E.T. kind. In fact, Hawking envisions a far darker possibility, more along the lines of this movie, War of the Worlds. In fact, in a new documentary for the Discovery Channel, Hawking says the alien will be big, bad, and very busy. Conquering planet after planet, he says they might exist in massive ships, and he calls them nomads who travel the universe, conquering others, and collecting energy through mirrors. Mirrors? Massive ships? Giant, mean aliens? Is it all possible?
There's one question that many of us here on Earth always seem to be asking. Are we alone? And I'm not talking about being single. I'm talking about in the universe. And today, a group of scientists overseas say that world governments should start preparing an action plan just in case Earth is contacted by aliens.
What is behind UFOs? Are they real? What does the Bible have to say about them?
The most ancient text of Central America is the Popol Vuh, written by the Mayans, who charted the heavens and had astronomical calendars which predicted solar and lunar eclipses. The Popol Vuh describes the ancestors of the Mayans as great explorers who knew centuries before European scientists that the Earth was not flat, but in actual fact a sphere. The Popol Vuh mentions a great god-king called Quetzalcoatl, who is depicted as a flying serpent. The most ancient written texts on planet Earth date from the Indus Valley and make up a corpus of works called the Vedas. The Bhagavad Gita is an ancient Hindu text which is at least 5,000 years old. This epic mythology inspired the character known as Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies. The Bhagavad Gita described many gods of the stars flying down to planet Earth in alien spacecraft called Vimanas. The ancient Vedas tell us that there are multiple inhabited planetary systems in the universe called Devas, which are ruled by a universal government of beings with superhuman powers and technology, including the power of telepathy and nuclear weapons powerful enough to destroy an entire planet. The Hindu legends tell us that the Vimanas were like flying saucers, which had stealth technology, able to make themselves invisible, and were able to detect enemy craft at great distances using a form of psychometric radar. According to self-styled Tibetan mystic and British author Cyril Hoskin, Tibetan Lama Minya Donga told disciples that a group of Tibetan lamas had established communication with space gods who said that they were watching Earth in the same way as humans watch animals in a zoo. A royal document dating back to the 7th century states that the first 7 Tibetan kings came from the stars. Mexican UFO investigators call these spherical luminosities las perlas, or the pearls. These pearls of the sky are mentioned in ancient Tibetan scriptures. More than one leading Tibetan author suspects that these spherical UFOs are actually alien probes monitoring the evolution of mankind. These small spherical UFOs, which are the most common type of UFO filmed in the skies worldwide, are described in the ancient Buddhist text known as the Cantua. The Cantua describes the exact same spherical UFO phenomena which has been filmed in the skies above London, in Scotland, the south of France, and also many times in Mexico.
Gathering here in Washington to talk about their UFO sightings, but this apparently is no crackpot convention. Former high-level government and military officials are among those sharing what they've seen in the skies.
NASA's investment in studying UFOs on the moon was money well spent. 2 ex-NASA mission specialists exposed in the 1970s that NASA astronauts had informed mission control that they had seen alien spaceships on the lunar surface. In 1976, an ex-NASA employee, Otto Binder, accused NASA of censoring transmissions from the Apollo astronauts by switching to secret radio frequencies and using code names for UFOs. Otto Binder claimed that he had heard an Apollo astronaut tell Mission Control that there were huge alien spaceships parked on the lunar surface, right in the middle of the Sea of Tranquility, which had been chosen as the landing site for Apollo 11.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Few people took Otto Binder's account seriously, until another ex-NASA employee, a Moroccan named Maurice Chatelain, published a book in 1978 in which he claimed that 2 UFOs hovered above the Sea of Tranquility just before the historic moonwalk of Neil Armstrong. Maurice Chatelain was a NASA insider. He invented many of the radio and radar communication systems for the Apollo missions. He had 11 patents awarded for his inventions and had a high-level NASA security clearance, able to talk freely with senior NASA officials. In his book, he quoted radio transmissions between Apollo astronauts and mission control. According to Maurice Chatelain, the astronauts informed NASA that there were alien spacecraft lined up on the far side of a nearby crater, observing the historic moonwalk of Neil Armstrong. During his time working on the Apollo space program, Chatelain learnt that aliens not only exist, but that they have had a major role in shaping, and in some cases destroying, civilization. The title of Maurice Chatelain's book proves he was in no doubt that aliens had invaded planet Earth in the past.
This man is a 71-year-old mechanical engineer who, like Bob Lazar, claims to have worked at Area 51 and to talk to us about certain...
We received a disc from extraterrestrials. This particular one that I had to work on, or did work on, was from the Kingman crash. And that was later on taken to a Nevada test site where, at the time, I didn't know.
Were there any alien bodies recovered?
No bodies. There were 4 live, feeling good guys.
4 live extraterrestrials?
4 live, feeling good extraterrestrial type individuals, yes.
And where were those 4 extraterrestrials taken?
Initially they were taken in New Mexico. And then several months later they were taken to the Nevada site. One of the things I worked on was a flying disc simulator to train pilots to fly this strange looking craft designed for humans to fly, not for any extraterrestrials to fly.
His most fantastical claim was that he worked at Area 51 with an alien codenamed J-Rod for 16 years on this simulator project.
J-Rod is a gray alien, about 5'4". His role was only as a translator, scientific translator. That was all. If we wanted to put something in the place of what they had, he had to agree with it. I would have a question, and I would bring it up in my mind, just how I wanted to present it with him, and he'd already know that I had this question, and he would already have the answer for me. And if he responded, it would be in my voice. And you wouldn't even open your lips. It is possible that he and a few thousand others are working on the project, either here or elsewhere.
Is this a few thousand other greys?
Few thousand other greys like himself.
For 22 and a half years, I served in the United States Army. During my tenure, I was on many occasions asked to serve as the official, unofficial UFO consultant dealing with UFO matters in the areas of my assignment. As a result of my involvement, I was able to ascertain that the United States government knew a whole lot more about UFOs than it was telling the American public. That there was an intelligence involved, that there was a highly evolved technology. I learned that to a degree we were carrying on a dialogue with this intelligence. We were making every effort we could to acquire this technology and make it part of our own existing technology. We did this, I was told, in the interest of national security. We also had an officially sanctioned deception program. This was in total disregard as to the impact this would have on the individual witnesses and also on their families. This ultimately led to my disillusionment with the program and my involvement in it. I sincerely feel that no government has the right to destroy the lives of the people which it is supposed to serve. To expose once and for all this policy and to reveal the truth, and that is, we are not alone in the universe.
Well, Don, it began for me in 1963 when I was assigned to the Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers in Europe. I arrived in the summer of '63 and I was assigned to the Operations Division. I was further assigned to what we call SHOC, the War Room, the Supreme Headquarters Operations Center. And at that time I was given a cosmic top-secret clearance, which was and still is the highest level of security access that NATO has. When I was assigned to the War Room, I learned that a study had been initiated in 1961, and everybody was talking about it. They were gossiping about it. And the subject was UFOs, and that intrigued me a bit. When that study was concluded in 1964 and it was published, and I was still working in the War Room at that time, I had access to this document. I had a chance to read it. And having been exposed to it, I must tell you honestly that my life has never ever quite been the same. Because I read first-hand reports, verifiable NATO military material that indicated that the UFOs were not only real, that they represented something far beyond anything I had ever imagined before. When the study was concluded in '64, they concluded that there were 4 different groups apparently coming and visiting us. Out of those 4 different groups, one group looked exactly like we do. Out of those 4 different groups, one group looked exactly like we do. Out of those 4 different groups, one group looked exactly like we do. So much so that they could sit beside you in a restaurant, or in an airplane, or in a theater, and you'd never know. And that particular point bothered the military guys a lot. The point being that some of these people from somewhere could be walking up and down the corridors of SHAPE headquarters, or they could be walking up and down the corridors of the Pentagon. One day at lunch, a lieutenant colonel made the remark, he says, "Jesus, do you realize they could even be in the White House?" And there was a little forced laughter at that point, I remember, because a lot of us over the years have had some misgivings about the occupants of the White House. The SHAPE conclusions in '64 were that there were 4 groups that we knew of. They were apparently interplanetary. Some very likely were interstellar. They even concluded that some of them could be intergalactic. I'm not enough of a physicist to try to explain to you what a dimension is, but the idea that there could be intelligences from somewhere else, from other dimensions coming and going into our reality, it's been quite a shake-up. That the historical evidence indicates that they've been with us a long time, and I've concluded that we had what I like to call an intimate interrelationship with at least one of those groups, the group that looks exactly like we do. And that point is, I don't like the word alien. I don't think the term alien is appropriate at all here. I like to refer to them as family. We're related to them. I think they had a hand in our being here. And I think the time has come where we're about to meet our extended family.
This is our blue planet in the dark void of space. Approximately 2,500,000 years ago, this blue planet that we would call Earth was spinning on its own axis in the cosmic dance of our solar system. We're not sure really what happened. Maybe there was a political struggle. Maybe there was a government overthrow. Maybe there was a massive war. But whatever happened, whatever failed the entire globe. Because there was a massive nuclear war that wiped out almost everything on the planet. The destruction and annihilation of the human civilization was paramount, was absolute. We're not sure the reasons why. We can only guess. But whatever mankind did 2,500,000 years ago, virtually almost extinguished the human race. Speculation is all that we have at this time. But what we do know is that it virtually eliminated every building, every person, every bridge that was ever built on the planet Earth. And it all evaporated in time. We're not really sure what happened or who gave the order. But whatever that civilization was, whatever it stood for, its history, its art, its knowledge, disappeared on that one fateful day of a nuclear annihilation. Most would say the story would end there, but yet the Earth is resilient, and it will survive. Even as the lights go out all over the planet, the human race will survive. We'll leave our small blue world as the electromagnetic signals disappear. We will travel through our solar system, passing Jupiter and Saturn and its beautiful rings. Out from our solar system we will go until our sun looks no more than a small speck of light dancing in the distance. Because now on another planet, in the distant Milky Way galaxy, far away, there is another planet that is in serious trouble. Its sun is dying, and has been dying for some time, and it's about to explode, taking with it another Earth-type planet, a planet that's been the home through thousands of years for another alien race. We'll travel now through our own Milky Way galaxy, into the arms of the galaxy. We'll pass the Crab Nebula and go further into space than anyone can possibly imagine, further than almost any television signal has traveled. Here at the speed of imagination, we'll travel by and stop just for a little while in the Pleiadian star cluster. The immense size of the universe makes our sun look minuscule. Here at the Pleiadian star cluster, an incubator for new suns and new stars to be created as old ones die out, leaving their carbon material behind. There could be millions of suns, larger than our own and some just getting started, here in the Pleiadian cluster. The Pleiades themselves are a small cluster of suns, close enough, some people say, if they could have interstellar travel, they could reach each other. But we'll only stop there for a few seconds as we press on and head toward the Sirius cluster, the Sirius star system, very similar to the Pleiades. Sirius itself is a large blue sun that we can easily see from the planet Earth, but around it are thousands of other suns, and one of those suns is preparing to die. This sun is well past the point of saving, but the Earth-type planet that is going to envelop needs a solution, needs answers. These Sirians use their psychics to travel through the interstellar space using the galaxy's electromagnetic superhighway in order to find another comparable planet like their own, another Earth-type planet, in order for them to survive. They had to search as far away as possible to find this compatible planet, but what they were really looking for, a sun, a similar size sun with a planet that was revolving around it the same as their own, a same similar size, a same similar atmosphere, a same similar Earth-type base. They searched thousands of suns until they came across one. They found a small blue planet, and they would then focus on that blue planet, and they said that this would be a compatible place to go. They would call up ships, interstellar ships that could travel the vast distances of space. They found the coordinates of this small blue planet, and they said that that is what we'll make our new home from. This small planet at the edge of a galactic arm. So they called the Pleiadians, they called the Orions, they called the Lyrians, the Beta Centurions, and the Vegans for assistance. And they sent a combination of over 50 ships to move a planet. Over 50 ships were called. Each ship would be about the size of the Earth and would hold 5 to 9 billion people as they would make the long voyage through space. And just as their sun enveloped their home world, they left, watching their home world go through the annihilation and self-destruction of this dying sun.